Special commentary this week. We have Less Visible live. We're recording this earlier in the day, and we're going to talk a bit. He's going to let us know what happened. He had some kind of a wild experience, which has apparently made a very deep change, or at least a change slash confirmation on what he's been talking about over the years. So we're going to talk about that. Going to kind of let him go and roll with it so we can hear about his experiences. But welcome back once again live to Feet to the Fire, Less Visible.
Thank you, James, and glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks. Let's see. Where do you begin? As they say, begin at the beginning. So I had been sitting in the house, and I noticed suddenly interesting creatures were appearing. Well, this was like maybe a day before or a lot of hours before the event. Were appearing in the garden outside of the house, and fanciful creatures out of the corner of the eye thing, images passing. I'm going, what? It begins to intensify. I had a couple of beers, and I was pretty much okay. And I had something pain in my head, right? Okay. That was it. So, and it started intensifying. And it was almost like there were beings almost everywhere, coming and going. Sat in the living room for a while. We have this wall where the TV is, and there are shelves here and there, and bric-a-brac, or whatever you call it, sculptures or things. They started changing into whoever this was. And I was thinking the whole time, wow, well, they're my invisible friends, and they're becoming visible. So I was really positive about the whole event. And so I tried talking to them, and no one would speak to me. And so I thought, well, maybe could you do sign language or something, like give me little gestures? So, and then I got kind of a glimmer out of that, okay? Because and it occurred to me, maybe there was somebody they were waiting on showing up. I said, so you're waiting on somebody to arrive. I said, you can just indicate, I say, one finger for yes, two for no, that kind of thing, or anything on the direction. And then one of the statues on the left went, yes, okay. And, okay, and thinking maybe that he was supposed to do that, so I was trying to keep it, and so just trying to go along with the flow. Maybe it was a surprise or something. Through the process of questioning and using a bit of Socratic dialectic, I found out with the yeses and the nos that it turned out that, yes, indeed, they could not speak to me, and yes, indeed, someone was coming, and he was coming with the purpose to kill me. What? That's okay, I can take care of it. No, you can't. And believe me, it was no all down the line about it. I mean, that was pretty much it for visible, okay? Now, I'll jump ahead just a little bit. It turns out that they were a vampire coven, and this particular vampire had just unseated a much more powerful the guy had been alive for 1,000 years or more, and I guess well liked in his community, but through sabotage or whatever, he was gone. This guy had taken over, and someone had taken a contract out on me. I know this sounds like science fiction and everything, but I'm sitting here in the middle of this. For me, it was not science fiction. And I said, what am I going to do, you know? And shapes changing, you know, big things shifting, moving, all of the ornaments, everything was suddenly coming apart, turning into dancers and things. And those are intense. And the guy was about to arrive. So I feel a spastic here. I'm just going out the front in. And my friend says, you don't have to let them in. I thought, great, I saw a movie something about that. And he said, it's okay. Hey, you can't come in. There we were. And then it really intensified, okay? So I wound up in this, because they were in the house, outside the house, okay? And this guy was right there at the window. And I mean, it wasn't a hallucination because I could see it in real life that it went on. This had started hours and hours before and didn't end until dawn. This is what I was hoping for. It intensified, it got crazier and crazier. I ordered the DJ. It was exhausting to say the least. So I, you know, drank another beer. I always got to have a knife in my hand now, okay? And telling the Empire is silver. It's not that. Well, it was, I don't remember the details. I keep telling my friend to call the police. No, they'll arrest you. I said, why? But I didn't realize at that time that only I could see them. Okay. So, okay, maybe it was a psychotic break. But we've been over this ground afterwards since. And if it had been, then how come there's no other? It's either supernatural or psychotic. Okay. Well, like Conan Doyle said through Sherlock Holmes, once you've eliminated the improbable, whatever's left, no matter how impossible, must be it. And that's where I was. Not thinking, because I'm not the smartest bulb on the planet. So I thought I should dig all the place, and he showed up. And looking everywhere for intruders, they were gone. Dawn was coming. Now me at this level, right? I was taking them disappearing into pillows and everything. I was taking things and putting them outside. You know, don't do that, my friend's saying. And, you know, police are there. Whoa. So then I go, okay. So somehow I'm in the kitchen there. And this steroid old policeman, I guess, well, you're going to have to come with me. I said, well, no, I don't want to come with you. He says, you can come willingly or I'll have to take you with me. I said, well, you're going to have to take me. Boop. And then it was like that. And then I went through this, I must say, Florence police. This guy was like brutal, man. He handcuffed me behind my back and he did it in such a way that it was, well, I don't know. It was, the pain was right up there about the best I've ever gotten. Got in this down to the police, but no, right next to the police station is a psychiatric processing center or something. Threw me in there. I'm there, going home. I'm not. Next thing I know, these two large women come in and they asked me to sit on this gurney. And they strapped me down. to the point where I can't even get my hands up. I feel like Hannibal Lecter. I said, what am I to scratch my head? My nose was itchy. And I says, she's rubbing my nose. Yeah. So 80 miles to Tucson, to this location where I went and wound up spending the next 7 days. So it would take a long time to go through all the details. But anyway, Thursday night, I'm in the room. So the guy has gone out of the room. I'm lying back. I suddenly adjust myself. My body a certain way. And I feel something start to happen. And I know my readers and my, various people know that I've had a lot of experiences with different gods and goddesses, Shiva, Vishnu, none of the problem actually, a lot of goddesses, Buddhas, all that kind of thing, but never anything real with Jesus Christ. And I'm laying there and slowly happens, and this voice says, you know who I am, don't you? I feel the space forming all around my own. I'm laying there. I'm not on anything right away. And this is about at the level of my Kundalini experience when I was 21. And I said, yeah, it was Jesus Christ. And he said, I had to get you to myself for a moment. So apparently the whole thing, I don't know. And a lot of stuff went on. He told me a lot of things about myself, which I'm not going to say because they sound too absolutely off the charts. And but it was wonderful, great. And there was like a thing about my getting out of there thing, and so don't worry, there you go. So I'm not getting out, and it won't be until tomorrow, probably the next day. I was sitting there, but I'm kind of getting a bit enraged. And years and years and years, stuff going on. And the doctor comes in and he goes, and he tells me that the social worker talking to my friend gave the wrong information. Oh, no, really, you go today. Seems you already got faster than anyone I've seen in the last 7 days. I was adios out the door, and we drove back here. Only to find that, it wasn't entirely resolved. But then very powerful spiritual forces came around, and it's all been like miraculous, just resolved somehow. I don't want to say I'm exhausted. After I got back, I hadn't slept for 4 days, and that was 2 days ago. Finally, I was able to go to sleep. It's going on and on and on. And there are things you can't tell doctors, you can't tell lawyers, you can't tell anyone. And I mean, okay, psychotic break, supernatural. Well, I would not have functioned all of these years or have had similar experiences so many times if it were not that. If the other, I'd be detritus. So here I am now. Hopefully all is well. If you're watching with my eyes, and camera's up there, and I'm looking at the screen of myself, so that's why I haven't been looking at you. So, well, that is it as I know it, except you lose the color, the gloss, and the detail and everything, okay? It was profoundly disturbing, I must say, because it was as powerful as anything that ever happened in my life before, except for the good learning experience. And apparently I'm going to be moving to Sedona, and I pretty much stay anywhere I want. I really don't know a lot about these things. I know parts and pieces of many things. I know that I love God immensely. And or so now. And here we are.
Can I jump in here for a minute, Les? As I'm listening to you, I know you're not going to talk about things that was said to you personally, and I understand that, but is there any kind of general things that you learned that might help others of like what we're in? I mean, everything seems kind of crazy now, and what's going, stuff like that. Not necessarily predicting the future, but at least give us kind of an environmental update about why everything's going crazy right now.
On a positive side, and actually on a 100% conclusive side, trust in the Almighty God. Now, for me, it has turned out that as it exists, I'm full on with Jesus Christ, and not with any of the religious part of it at all. But apparently, I can't. Apparently, when an avatar comes and the avatar goes, and the next avatar comes, the avatar from before comes in afterwards to show the ropes. Now, since we are in the Aquarian age now, in Piscean, things have changed. Brotherhood it's happening now. Sacrifice is already a part of this. You have to keep your hope and faith and trust in the Almighty. That leads you. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to conviction. My whole life, the one thing, which I think really protected me was, and it was what I always asked of God. I said, God, please give me your qualities. I would rather have your qualities than anything else. Give me your qualities, and I feel I will be okay. And so somehow, integrity, honor, and all those things, somehow in the process of living, I accrued some amount of these things, and they protected me against this difficulty. And these are troubling times, can I say. But remember this, absolutely remember this. The battle's already won. You have to understand this. God is victorious over all. We have come to Armageddon just to find the battle won, okay? It's over. You don't have to worry about shaking your boots anymore or any of the rest of that. Just start firm in your conviction. Believe in God Almighty, and follow that true code, that is written in your heart, and be forgiving and generous with others. I don't think anything can touch you if you can measure up to what's necessary to live in this troubling time. Because people are losing their minds, right, kids?
So I could say one of the problems people may encounter is to try and make their path through this as opposed to follow the divine flow. That be
But no, I'm saying like every human being has the tools already. Intention is the point. What is your intentions? Where are you trying to get to? If you're lost in the pleasures of the world or all the rest of these things, of course, these things are being removed. They're going to be taken up. Mr. Apocalypse is all over the place. So you fear loss, trembling, whatever. Hold to your convictions. That's what I'm saying. Hold to the truth and the beauty that is God. It is within you. It will shine from within outward. It will touch everyone as you go. And together we can bring in this next golden age.
Well, one thing I have learned that, and believe me, I've had it better than many, but I've learned that there is only one thing you can trust, and that is God. Because,
absolutely.
I mean, even if you have a person you can trust and they're nice, I mean, they could die, and then now they're gone, right? So who do you trust then? So whether they be turn out to be evil or undependable, or they're great and die, you still, through life, there's only one constant that I found, and no matter how bad it was,
Man,
God is that.
God is in everyone to some degree, and all this coming and going, dying. Still God, but God keeps reappearing. You know, James, out of this, some of it's coming. I'm recording The Lord of the Rings. You know The Lord of the Rings, the whole book. I'm doing an audio book thing of it, and going to distribute it freely to the readers.
You know, I've read that book. Well, I have an audio of it from a long time ago, a British actor. I've listened to that thing more than any other book.
Yeah.
And it's about 52 hours long. And
Yeah.
it's funny how it kind of gets me through a lot of this. It's almost like a surrogate for what God is doing in the world.
So I'm going to put it out there in my own words, sing the parts, do the thing. I bought the equipment necessary and put it out there. I don't think I have to worry about copyrights or anything because it's just free. So, and it's just the read. Only to those who hear about it. Someone wants to go tell on me, go ahead. But that's part of what I'm up to.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so. I enjoy it. I think that book is a great thing in these troubling times. The Bible, of course, is as well. But in a more practical and human way, it inspires you with courage, conviction, and all other things. For Aragon, Tom Bombadil, my God, who wasn't in the movie,
right,
and who put on the ring and didn't disappear. So I'll do a little commentary as I'm reading it because my take on what's happening. It'll be as if you're sitting in you saw The Princess Bride?
Yes.
So, you know, he steps away and changes while he's reading the book and editorializes a little bit. I'm going to do that.
That sounds pretty cool. I would like to hear that. Again, I'm actually listening to the second book right now, coming toward the end.
All right.
And I've listened to the first time around, and now I just started right over. After the end of the Return of the King, I just went back to the first book and started. For some reason, it gives me some kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's like a parallel of what's here. And I know people can tear it apart by saying it's an Illuminati thing and, you know, all that stuff. I just don't. I just listen to it, you know.
You know, James, there are these people out there. They think these conspiracy people, but they're part of the mess, okay? They think everybody is involved. They probably think Mark Twain was. I've seen some of these people up there around different places. Oh, no, but he did this or he did that. Lucius Trust, this and that. You know, I've read books by Alice Bailey, okay? I'm not going to pass judgment on another, but Glamour, A World Problem, the things she talks about, incredible. Or that quote by Anna Blavatsky. I couldn't read her books, they're way too dense. But that quote, there is a road, thin and line, da 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 da. He says, but for those who succeed comes a treasure past telling, the power to bless and save mankind. Anybody that can say that is not a bad person, you know?
Yeah.
So all these people like, I don't cast aspersions on anyone. I said, like for instance, George Soros, not a good guy, okay? I'm able to differentiate here and there. But otherwise, I'm granting latitude, you know? I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid. When your love for God and your trust in God is greater than your fear will disappear. Because love and fear cannot occupy the same place at the same time, okay? Love, no fear. Fear, no love. Therein lies that is the dichotomy of the entire experience of being a human being. Hate is love suppressed. Okay? Don't suppress your love.
As it, hate to me sounds like the anti-love that is born by fear. So
yeah, you're holding it down. That's what makes you angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why masters and those liberated people, they didn't have to worry about wild animals. To animals, fear smells like anger. That's why they attack when you're afraid of them. They see, that's the conflict. Don't be afraid. That doesn't mean run up there and start trying to pet them either, like that guy in Alaska.
I mean, speaking of
go ahead.
Speaking of Aragorn and Gandalf and all those, how many times have they said, "Don't be afraid" throughout that whole book series? About 1 million times.
Yeah. Look, Frank, those who trade their liberty for security deserve neither. And eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. I believe those things. I live by them. They're my code. I mean, I know what happened to me, It's pretty fantastic and unnatural. I hadn't taken any psychedelics or anything like that, okay? And it happened. Look, we're all important, but some of us are kind of critical to, there's this big web of Maya around here. There are these forces trying to imprison and enslave humanity, all right? I keep forgetting about the camera. Forces trying to imprison and enslave humanity. Don't let them do it. You follow me, right? Don't let them do it.
Each of us can do what we can in our own way. I mean, this is why what I personally kind of say is don't plan to be and emulate a character in history who you equate to what's going on now. You be you in your own self in history, and what comes for you to do will be the right thing to do. And you don't.
You'll probably get an improved version of it.
You don't want to have to compare yourself. Like, I want to be like so and so. You want to do whatever's right. I asked one time, I was frustrated, and I asked God. I said, how do you get through? I mean, what's the secret of getting through life? And what came to me immediately in my mind, it wasn't a voice, but it was like there. It said, in any given moment, do the right thing. And I said, well, what's the right thing? And what came to me was, the right thing is the highest, best good for all those involved at that moment.
The greatest good for the greatest number of people.
If you can do that at any given moment, do the right thing, you'll get through. And it really helped. It really helped.
Let the heart swallow the mind. When the two combine, divine luminous wisdom will appear. And there will put an end to fear.
Yeah, I don't have it handy on this computer. I just realized I don't, but I have a quote that I read to myself every so often from Dune about fear is the mind killer.
Yes, Bene Gesserit.
Here it is. I do have it here. It's short. I'm sure it would be. I don't have my glasses with here. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. Then when it is gone, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I shall remain. I like that.
Yeah, that's great. Just include some love.
Anything else in kind of like closing here, Les? Any other?
No, I mean, I've got all day, so it's up to you when you want to end this. But in closing, let me see. Seek God. For myself, apparently my journey at this time right now is combined with that of Jesus Christ. So I don't feel bad about that at all. I'm grateful for him. And but however in which way you can, put on the full armor of God, which are his qualities. If you want to find God, be God, act as God would act in every situation. All through life, bless everyone as you pass. If you're in a supermarket, come to the checkout stand, that lady or man might have been there for 6 or 7 hours. Try to make their day interesting and read them. Put a little love in your heart, you know? Share it. Touch others.
I don't have many statues or little trinkets, but I got this one. If I can show you, it says on there, "Put on the full armor of God." You know, so I kind of have this sitting on my shelving. That, and I have the statue, the real Statue of Liberty. One thing they don't show
is
one thing they don't show you on the statue. You know, this is the actual, not the Statue of Liberty, meaning the one in New York. I mean, this is Justice. You know what I got? Oops, I'm sorry.
Justice blindfolded.
Yeah, I just realized the little thing here is all. But if you look at it, you got the sword, right? And if you look down at the feet, you can't really see it, but it's got a snake. There's a book. The snake is around here, and her foot is on the head of the snake. So you have like the sword of truth. You have the scales, the blindfold, and the foot on the head of the serpent. I mean, I really liked it. I ended up buying it when I saw it.
Okay, hang on a minute. I want to clarify some portion of that. Okay. There are snakes and there are serpents.
Okay. All right.
God is a serpent. Okay. Then there are snakes. See, that's the dichotomy. You know, the very thing that is all of the tortures and evil is also at the same time a force that liberates you. You have to remember that you're dealing with a holistic reality. So, in the end, you see the cobra hoods over the heads of the Hindus gods. And then you see the snake and the foot. St. George and the dragon. Same kind of thing. God sets good and evil. God does both of these things and controls them both. The devil works for God. But in the end, the thing rises up. It's the Kundalini. Comes up the spine. They used to have these Christians called shakers. They made great furniture. Apparently they had to, because they were shaking the chairs. That was the Kundalini experience.
The Quakers, shakers.
Yeah. Shakers, yeah, there you go. And an S, shakers.
I had a Kundalini experience. As I was exploring things, I went to a Shaktipat initiation, and but what I saw when I was going through that's when I met Jesus. It was very brief. It was very, very impressive, But I thought it was interesting when these guys were talking about more Hindi stuff. That what I personally experience is Jesus. And I don't know. I just kind of thought that it's like when you're hooked up with Jesus, that's your focus when it comes to God. So naturally, whenever you're dealing in a religious experience, depends on the focus.
Well, there's something that a lot of people don't get. Jesus was the man. Christ was the God. When John the Baptist baptized him in the waters there, he was Christed. And Christ went on to say, you will go on to do better and greater things than I, because I now go unto my Father. And in other words, he was setting the standard and opening the portal for all to come in. And once you're Christed, then you are of the same mind as that of Jesus Christ. And therein come all the powers to heal and to do the good that we need so much of in this troubled world. God is victorious. Evil defeats itself to begin with. So,
you know what bothers me less, and I've actually listened to you for help on this, is that one of the things that amazed me when I read out the story of Jesus is how he accepted the fact that he was Christed, right? So just imagine if I stood here and said that today I was Christed, right? People would be like, oh, he's lost it, he's an egomaniac, he's possessed and all this stuff. And even my own self, I couldn't even say it because I'm a human with my flaws. And it's like it amazes me to have that much confidence and humility to be able to say that. And I don't know, it just amazes me. That's why I really like reading the story.
I just went through some very eerily similar things about all of that. And I'll just point out some of the things that have been said. By their works you shall know them. You don't have to announce yourself as a Christ or the Christ. You don't have to announce yourself as anything. Just do the work.
Amen. Amen.
Show the love, God will guide. You'll be okay. As long as you can hold that conviction together. What helps you hold that conviction is the level of your integrity. You know, if your integrity is up there, your attention will be strong.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be hosting this, but I'm just kind of sitting here thinking about it or feeling it. Well, I'm encouraged by your words. You know, I mean, I believe. I mean, this is if somebody asks me whether it's going to turn out good or not in the end. It's like, well, it's all going to turn out good, but it depends on what you are thinking good is. If you mean that all of a sudden all evil is going to disappear from the world and we're going to live in peace forever on this world, I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not how it goes. Here's the thing. There's this whole thing about the Kali Yuga, right? They're saying it's supposed to go on for another 500,000 years or so. Then another very trusted source said, no, it's ending very shortly. Then we have this other clock, if I see in an Aquarian thing. It's also, it's a clock. It changes every 2,200 years, something like that. So it's about 26,000 years. And we're there at that point, and it's all backwards and reversing, you know, like being inside of the clock. And we're now in the age of brotherhood. And for those who are ready and those who are willing, the Almighty is coming in the heart of humanity, okay? And that means in every willing heart, the avatar with the Spirit of Jesus Christ, or however you may picture it, is coming forth within our humanity. So there will be, regardless of God you or not, for your own space in this present time, a mini golden age is coming for all those gathered to celebrate this specific event. It's like an Escher painting. There are doorways going here, there, and everywhere. Now, what portal you choose is up to you, and the portal available to you has to do with the level of your conviction, of the love in your heart, and the wisdom that you have to see God as the authority over all living things, and you as the vehicle through which it is expressed, if you're capable. And I can't see anything else worth doing.
Yeah, I had a vision. I'm not going to go through it all, but I'm not even going to go through it. But I'll put a link down if people want to know. But what I got on that was that there's going to be an awakening. That where people will be given an option. God will say, you know, you can be the best you can be. I could heal you, or you can continue on. And a lot of people choose this option, and they're healed, and they're like what they could be without all the junk. But there are people who won't want that. They want the junk. And it just amazed me when I saw that. It was like, how would someone standing there and they offer you it so you actually see it? It's not like some kind of a smoke, and they still refuse. So I don't know.
Two will be standing in the field, and one will be taken, and one will be left.
Yeah.
Yes, the Bible, you know. Look, this is the time of the harvesting of souls. Mr. Apocalypse is afoot. Everyone's getting tapped. And according, the feather and whatever, upon the scales, how do you answer? Do you have pay for the ferryman? I don't know what particular symbology or allegory any of us move through. I have some understanding of the one I'm moving through. And I'm taking everybody I can with me who wants to go. And that's part of my problem, actually. But it ain't a problem. Believe me, it's a burden of joy. And, I'm happy and I'm positive because I know one thing that I do know is the battle is already won. God won. So you can look everywhere you see in this blasted landscape. You see people stuffing themselves as mindless entertainments and out groping each other in parks and doing whatever they're doing, killing each other for lucre and money and the rest, and the Rothschilds at their tables with the seats set aside for Satan, and all the entertainment figures and the rappers now, and they will let legitimate artists out, and all you hear is about bitches and hoes and bitches and hoes. Hey, that can all be going on. There's a sweeter, dearer, and cleaner music playing in my heart. And that's what I hear. I'm going to glory. Others may come if you wish. People get ready.
Yeah, my daily prayer when I get up, when my feet hit the ground, is I say, Lord, let today be the day. Let it today be the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been good talking with you, Les. I'm glad you got your info out there. I'll post this, send you links, and you can send it to your friends, people, and God bless. I got years and years of your stuff on the server, and it's been a blessing working with you, and be hanging with you as we go through this and come out on the other side, whatever even that means.
You've been enjoying the ones to me too, James. And I've been around with your struggles and such, and here you are now. Look stronger than ever, and may God richly bless you, grant you providence, and all the tools necessary for you to continue with your great work.
Well, thanks, Les. I appreciate it. Anyway, I think we'll just leave it like that. Leave it like that because there's more to come. It's just that I think the core message you're saying is great. Just trust in God and don't have fear. We're all going to die eventually, supposedly, if not something intervening. So it's not.
We'll all die, but we shall all be changed.
Yeah.
So in the bottom.
Alrighty. Well, you take care, bro. And
God bless you.
We will see you.
My dear friends.